It starts with yourself, man. You got to start diving into those things that you are afraid of. You don't gain confidence by going to the spot that makes you feel good. It's going to be a false reality. And the second life gives you that challenge, all you want to do is go back to what made you confidence or what gave you confidence. Is that happy spot? No. What gives you confidence, what gave me confidence, was spending years at a kitchen table trying to learn how to read and write on my own. Realizing I can't learn the way you learn. I can't. But I can learn. What gives you confidence, not being afraid, is overcoming the fear. I used to stutter severely bad. So right now, I don't know how many people are going to watch this. You know what gives me confidence? Is knowing I no longer care if I sit here and start stuttering to you. That's what gives me confidence, is facing these things, overcoming them. And maybe not overcoming them every day, but facing them and facing them and facing them. Pretty soon like this, you know what, man, this is where it's at. It's not in that comfort zone. It's in the discomfort zone is where my confidence is getting built. That's where it's getting built. But people want an easier answer. There has to be an easier way. There's not. I'm sorry. I searched for it my entire life. And I still felt empty. I coach a lot of people nowadays, billionaires, who call me on the phone and say, man, I'm still missing something. It's because they did what they were good at. And they have this beautiful family, 2-3 houses, cars, everything. Has everything in the world. On the outside looking in, like, my God, man, how can you be unhappy? I walk around with the backpack with all my stuff in it, with no car.
Right.
And I walk around happiest person in the world. Have nothing. Happy as hell. It's because I found out the whole key to life. It's not in all that. You have to face yourself. So many people live to be 100 years old and they die miserable, having everything, because they never examined. I call it my live autopsy. You never examined this. Happiness, peace, enlightenment, it's all up here, man. It's all up here. And when I start talking like this, people go, man, you know, I don't know. It's the truth, man.
Yeah, it is true.
It's all up here. You just got to be willing to go and face it. And that's the hard part.
I got a question. How do you transform yourself from ordinary? The first thing you got to do is the exact opposite of everybody else. I own a bulldog. I've owned lots of dogs in my lifetime, but I've never seen a dog eat like this. You put the food down, she buries her face in the bowl and attacks it, never looks up. So I was worried about it. So I called the breeder. I asked the breeder, what's up with this? She says, yes, as puppies, there's limited food, so they attack it. They're afraid they won't eat. So I figured she'd outgrow it. 6 years later, she's got her own bowl, refrigerator full of food, but her mentality is the exact same. She acts like there's 20 puppies out there trying to steal her food. When you get that kind of mentality, you'll be successful. Stay hard.
I'm all about, it's not about the underdog so much. I think we're all an underdog. I think the top CEO on the planet Earth still has that doubt. I don't give a where you're from. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, the best on the planet. We're all underdogs. Whether you're underdog because you put yourself there to be hungry, or you're just a real life underdog. Right. We're all an underdog. And so this is about the mind and people discovering the mind, their own mind. And one thing I know is we all have an equation. We all have an equation. Like, I'll talk about 3.14 is pi. There's different equations to figure out different kind of, mathematical problems. We as human beings are mathematical problems. I cannot give you a book for everybody in this world. That's why my book, even though it's one book, is tailored to the individual. It's not like you do these 5 steps, you're good. No, I'm helping you figure out your equation, because it's different. My equation is different from your equation. What's gonna make you tick? What's gonna make you go the distance? What's gonna make you go to that spot in hell and say, I love this spot? It's okay. That's what this book does. It helps you figure out your 3.14. Helps you figure out your fucking mathematical equation and say, oh, Because once you figure out the equation in any math problem, you no longer fail, man. You got it figured out. What's funny about failure is we're afraid to fail a lot of times because we're afraid to get those people telling us that we're not good, that we shouldn't try again. This is how I look at it. First of all, those people are going to be there. And 99.9% of those people who are in your ear after you fail haven't even tried what you're attempting to do. That's first of all. But they have a voice. That voice needs to be, we're done. You don't need to talk to me anymore. Like when I failed the pull-up record, I was going for 4,020 pull-ups. And I failed it twice before I finally got it the third time. I had so many people telling me, you can't do it. And I was like, how many pull-ups have you done in your life? So that's the first thing. Look at who's talking to you negatively first. And failure is the only way to grow. The only way to grow for me. Everything I've ever succeeded in, 3 hell weeks. Everything, Ranger School, everything I've ever failed, I failed miserably so many times. But what you do with that failure is you go back, you learn from it. And not just learn from it, I call it the live autopsy, where you get all this stuff, you get a scratched piece of paper and you start writing down. Don't even acknowledge the fact that you failed. You're looking at it almost like the daggone light bulb. Like, okay, this went wrong, that went wrong, that went wrong. And then you go back into it. All failure is a tool for success. It shows you how to get there if you're willing to stay in the fight. That's the hard part though. After failure, all these voices start to say, no, we're not good enough, we're not good enough, we're not good enough. No, we haven't tried enough. And that is so true. We just haven't tried enough. But yeah, without failure, I wouldn't be who I am today. One of the keys to my success in life was I was able to see myself at the end of a very difficult task before I even started it. When I was 297, out of shape and afraid of the water, I was able to see myself at graduation as a Navy SEAL. But as time went on, I kept on getting rolled back to day one. And every day got longer and longer. So what I had to do was I had to take this big chunk and make it small. So I became the master of the one day that I was living. We have to do that now. We don't know when the end is coming to this. So we got to master that one day. It may keep on getting pushed back day after day. If you master that day and want to be harder and stronger, you'll figure it out. Stay hard. I want to be an Air Force pararescueman. And so I couldn't even swim. And in special operations, I didn't even know this. There's only 1% of African Americans in special operations, totality-wise, as far as Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Green Berets. My grandfather was in the military for about 30-some years. And I was obsessed with the military growing up, just obsessed with the uniform. And I knew that that was my way out, the military, but I didn't know you had to actually be intelligent. I thought it was just about push-ups and sit-ups. So to be a pararescueman, they gave you this warning packet. It was a warning order. And after I passed the ASVAB test, they gave me this packet. It was like, okay, like a training packet. Push-ups, sit-ups, flutter kicks, all these different things. The very last page talked about swimming. I figured I'm a pretty good athlete. Swimming is easy. I'm negative buoyant. So why there's not a lot of African Americans in special ops? Because over 70% of African Americans are negative buoyant, which means they sink. And it's not due to muscle mass, it's due to bone density.
That's right.
So when I went to the pool, I tried to float. That's the first thing you have to do is learn, just learn to float. I sank like a lawn dart. I'm at the bottom of the pool, walking the bottom of the pool. So this lifeguard came over and says, hey, I can help you out. I've taught thousands of people how to swim. He tries to help me out. I lawn dart the bottom of the pool again. And when I come back up, he says, man, you're screwed. That's when he started talking to me about negative buoyancy and stuff like that, how hard it is to stay above water. Sure. So I put the same work ethic into my learning as I did in the swimming. A few months later, I was swimming. And then I go off to pararescue school. So my whole thing was the military was my way to find self-esteem. I had to start building on something. And I started building on, education. Then I had to start learning how to find mental toughness. And this is where I started finding it was in the military.
At the beginning of the year, a lot of you had goals, ambition, a lot of drive, a lot of motivation. Well, it's Easter. It's the middle of April. When I navigate, I put backstops out there to make sure I don't get too far off course. I put those backstops in my personal life to make sure I don't get too far away from my goals and my dreams. A lot of you aren't proud of who you are. You don't like the person you created. Do what I did. Start from scratch. Create somebody that you're proud of. Stay hard.